Hi, my name is Victor Onochie from Genius Metaphor, and this is Lessons with Leaders, where we learn with leaders how they were able to build their enterprise, their organization, and how they're able to sustain it, scale it. This episode is sponsored by Cleveland Homes, where you dream it and they build it. Is Dr. Uju. Well, Dr. Uju will have to introduce herself, but I think over here in Abuja we know Tulip, so that's what I know. We'll get to learn more about Dr. Uju. Dr. Uju, over to you.
Hi, Victor. Thank you for having me on. My name is Dr. Obianuju Ugwuoke, medical doctor, and I also run the Tulip Body Care, which is a beauty retail chain based here in Abuja. And I'm pleased to be here today.
It's an honor having you here. So let me start. Let me let me start with this. Did you always know you were going to be an entrepreneur?
Well, my background, my parents are traders.
Oh, okay.
So I grew up around, trading and helping them out. I went to a boarding school, and each time I'm on holiday and I come back, I join in the family business. So I help out, with things. So it's always been part of me, if you understand what I mean. But, back in school, if you're one of those bright ones, everyone would expect you to be a doctor or engineer or lawyer or one of those. So studying something that had to do with entrepreneurship wasn't really, the in thing then. So yeah, so I went on to study medicine, but I've always, been around trading and business and stuff. So I grew up around it.
So it's quite interesting. People might not know that we actually went to the same school. We actually are the same set. So yeah, it's quite an interesting thing watching your journey and coming to learn more about this journey here.
So and to think you haven't changed yourself.
I haven't changed.
No,
really.
You haven't.
You too haven't changed. I think we still look the same. And this is probably left school over like 23 years ago.
Yeah, we left school in 2000. Yeah,
2000.
Yeah, so it's 23 years later.
Yeah, 23 years later we're doing this.
Yeah. So to think we've known each other for, we were in boarding for 6 years together.
Yeah. So that's a total of 29 years.
29 years. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. So let me do some. So quite interesting. You said something that your parents were traders, and you're able to. So I think in the Igbo system there's this apprenticeship thing, and I see that having as your parents were traders, that instilled that discipline of building these structures in terms of business.
Yes.
But then they wanted, you were a science student then. They wanted you to probably go into the medical field, and that's how you read medicine.
Yes.
Okay. What school did you? I think it was
UNN.
UNN. Yes. Interesting. Yes. Okay. And you see, the funny thing is that I grew up in a place where my parents were public servants, so I didn't have that structure to learn trading and all that. So this also is like a platform for me to also learn that. So that's what I'll be doing here. Now, Tulip. Let's start from Tulip, then we'll go back.
Okay.
From what is this something that you're doing just by yourself, your husband? What's the dynamics of this thing of Tulip?
Okay, so we have a parent company.
Okay.
Called the Max Care Group.
Max Care.
Yeah. So under the group we have pharmaceuticals.
Okay.
And we have the supermarket chain.
Okay.
And then the beauty retail. So we decided to give the beauty bit of the business a different name, Tulip Body Care.
Oh, okay.
But the pharmaceuticals bear Max Care Pharmacy. And then the supermarkets also bear Max Care Supermarket. So it's part of a group.
So you're telling me that Max Care that is in like that's
Yes. Max Care is the parent company.
Yeah. So there's Max Care supermarket, there's the Max Care pharmaceuticals.
Yes.
And then Tulip,
Yes.
which is now
the cosmetic bit.
Cosmetic. Why cosmetic?
Okay, I've always had interest in skincare.
Okay.
So back in medical school, I wanted to be a dermatologist. So if you go back to my yearbook, you know, when you leave medical school, we have like yearbooks where we write our plans, what we want to be. And in my yearbook, I specifically wrote that I wanted to be a dermatologist.
Okay.
With interest in cosmetology. Because I always wanted to be in that cosmetic bit of dermatology.
Okay.
But when I graduated from medical school, I was the best graduating in surgery. And then the overall second best graduating in UNN that year.
Wow.
So with that result, best graduating in surgery, nobody would give me a job in medicine. Every single job I got was surgical. Yeah, and it's not like I liked surgery. I didn't. The only reason why I became best graduating in surgery is because I didn't like surgery and I was too scared I would fail it.
So you put in...
So I put in a lot of effort and became the best in it.
Wow.
You understand?
This is a learning point here.
So I ended up in surgery. No one would give me a dermatology job. So I couldn't, you know, I did just housemanship in Nigeria and then headed off to the UK. And in the UK, all I did was surgical for 10 years.
So were you married when you left to the UK?
So I got married when I was in medical school. I was in 4th year when I got married. So I was in school for 2 years after my marriage, then moved to the UK.
Yeah. You met your husband in school?
Yes.
Interesting.
I was in 1st year when he was in final year.
Okay.
So we met in UNN.
Okay.
And then he graduated and then went on to do his internship and youth service before he moved to London for his master's.
Okay.
So at that point when he was doing his master's, I was in 4th year and we got married.
Okay.
At that point, yeah. So that's how I ended up in cosmetics.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So then you moved with him.
So when I left school, I did 1 year house job in Nigeria.
Okay.
And then went to London.
Okay.
I'm getting there, you know, all the jobs I got were all surgical. So I did urology back in London up to senior registrar level. And whilst my husband was a practicing pharmacist.
Okay.
So in 2004, he began his business, the Max Care Pharmaceuticals.
2004, okay.
Yes, Max Care Pharmaceuticals.
In London?
Yes, he was in London then. And what we did was to buy drugs from London and import it to Nigeria.
Wow.
And it was, you know, in a very small scale because he was still a master's student when he started the business.
Wow.
So, you know, we buy it and then, you know, sell to retail pharmacies here in Nigeria. So we started off gradually.
Wow.
Like that. And then over time, the business grew.
Okay.
And then he started spending more time in Nigeria.
So he would leave the UK, come to Nigeria?
So he resigned from his job in the UK and then started spending more time here. And I was with the kids in London and practicing as a doctor. And then we got to a point where it was clear that he wasn't going to come back to the UK because he had established the Max Care bit of the company in Nigeria. And then kids were growing up without dad. And then we had to make the decision, you know, are we going to continue like this or are we going to stay together? Because we need to make sure that we raise our kids together. So I had to leave my job in the UK to come back.
So this is a question. So, you know, one of the things I'm very interested in is when marriage, and I'm seeing that marriage played a role in what has been built. So when leaving your job, was it something you wanted to do or you made it as a sacrifice? You left?
To be honest, you know, nobody in his or her sane mind will leave the comfort of their job. In the UK, I had a good job, you know. As a senior registrar in urology, I earned enough to look after myself and my family. I was comfortable. I wasn't lacking anything. But the thing is, at the end of the day, you look at it, what is more important? Is it family or is it the career? What one is more important? And nothing will give me more satisfaction than seeing my kids, become, responsible citizens in the future. So it was more important for me that they were together as a family, raising those kids together. And with the business we had established in Nigeria, there was no chance that my husband would come back. So I had to make the sacrifice to come back with the kids to Nigeria. And there was a lot of uncertainties because, first of all, I had not practiced in Nigeria for 10 years. As a matter of fact, I don't even have a license to practice in Nigeria because I didn't renew it. And then I had no plans of practicing here.
So this is the interesting thing I want to hear. You had no plans?
No plans.
Why?
Because, the medicine abroad that I was used to was way more advanced than this. And so there's no way I would leave that sort of medicine and come back here and practice the sort of medicine they practice here.
So what caught your interest now? It was now business that caught your interest?
Well, because I wanted to be, like I said I wanted to be a dermatologist with interest in cosmetology.
So that was the passion you had?
Yes. I thought to myself, since you're not a dermatologist now, you can still do the cosmetology bits that you're interested in. So I did a course in cosmetology.
Wow.
And came back to Nigeria. And what I did, I went, I'm based in Abuja. I went around all the stores in Abuja to see the cosmetic stores in Abuja and to see what I could improve on.
True. Value.
And then I noted a couple of things. One is there weren't a lot of cosmetic stores. Two, the ones that were there had like really scanty, they're you could hardly find, I had lived in London for over 12 years at this point. So I know what it is like to go into a beauty store.
What it should look like.
It should look like. And I didn't see anything that looks like it here.
There was a gap.
There was a huge gap in the market. Because, you would just find a select brand. You will not find like everything you would normally find in a standard cosmetic store brand. And then even if you find it, the prices were outrageous. You understand? I thought, you know what? I can change things. I can establish a store where you would walk in and it would compete with the likes of Boots. When you come in, you would see every single thing you're looking for.
Interesting.
One, at good prices. Two, and you're sure of the authenticity. Three, those are the main
key things that stood out as the impact you wanted
those
to
are the three things I wanted to do.
Straightforward.
Yes.
Okay.
And when I started off, I knew exactly I wanted a beauty retail chain. And I said to my husband that I want to establish a retail chain of 5 stores in 5 years.
Clear goal.
Yes.
Clear goal.
I wanted 5 stores in 5 years.
Wow.
And the target was to open a store every year. And my husband was like, you have just started a business. You don't even know if, how people would like it. Even in 5 years, your first store may not even be standing. How do you intend to open 5 years in 5 stores in 5 years?
I'd like to know that.
And then I said to him, it's not a crime to dream.
Yeah. Not a crime to dream.
Yeah.
So take me through this. So obviously the first shop started 2019.
Yes.
This is 2023, 4 years, and we are about getting to 2024, which is the end of the 5 years.
Yes.
How many?
So in 2019 we opened the Lokogoma store.
Okay.
2020.
Pandemic.
No. So 2019 November.
Okay.
Lokogoma store was opened.
Okay.
So it lasted through that 2019 and then 2020. 2021, the Wuse store was opened.
Okay.
2022, we built a plaza in Kuje that also had the Tulip store, 2022.
That's the third one.
Yeah. So this is 2023. And next month, we're going to open the largest Tulip store we have. It's a 200 square meter space.
Wow.
In the heart of Abuja, Adetokunbo Ademola.
Interesting.
200 square meters. That would be our flagship store, and that would be the biggest store. And actually the biggest cosmetic store in Abuja. would open next month.
Next month?
Yeah. And then the 5th branch, I've started the shelf construction for the 5th branch.
So this 5...
Yeah. So it would open early next year.
I want to understand the mindset behind being able to pursue this thing and get it done. How did you start? What were the challenges?
Well, Victor, the good news is you and I went to school for the gifted together.
Okay.
You know what that school was like?
I know.
Yeah. Did you remember, what was that? What did Mr. Kwanga used to say about if you get less than 60? What was his popular phrase?
What's that word?
Suitable.
Suitable. You'll be out. You'll be out.
You find
a suitable school. Okay.
If you have less than 60.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think this is also the impact of education, or I say the kind of school you probably send your kids to.
Yeah. So you know that I've always been, I was trained that way, to be competitive every time I do stuff, to try to give my best.
True.
And if I'm in something that is not pushing me, I'm not waking up every morning and saying, how do I do this thing?
Yeah.
Then it's not worth
it's
my
not
time.
worth your time. You get bored.
Yes. So, and then with that training from Gifted, I went to medical school where you had the best brains coming.
Yeah.
And I attended in my first year, I attended the graduation ceremony for doctors.
Okay.
And then I found out that in UNN, they gave special awards for the first 10 best graduating doctors in the class. And I thought to myself, I'm going to get that award. I won't be first 10, I'll be first 3.
Okay. You decided, you set that as a goal.
Yeah, for first year.
Okay. And you put in the work.
Yes.
Wow.
I put in the work. Came best in surgery and second overall best graduating in UNN that year.
Wow.
Yeah. So that whole, attitude to work and life has always been there. And then when I started cosmetics, I thought to myself, you know what, you left your profession as a doctor in the UK to come and do it. That better be worth your time.
So I think, so it's something you got crystal clear in terms of the responsibility, knowing that if I left this to come here, then it has to be worth it. I have to be able to.
It's got to be worth my time.
Yes. You don't want to regret that fact tomorrow.
I don't want to think, to myself one day that you're basically a mediocre just playing. Yeah. So if you want to build something different, you've got to put the work in. So I thought, you know what, this is my dream. There's no harm in dreaming.
There's no harm in dreaming.
If I wake up every day and work towards it and God blesses it and it happens, good. But at least I can say to myself, you tried.
You tried.
I mean, the worst regret I'll have is that I didn't try.
Yeah.
But I tried.
You tried.
And if it doesn't work out, then I know that.
You know that you tried and it didn't work.
Yeah.
But in this case, it is working. So what would you say what's the mindset behind success? Because someone can say, okay, she's intelligent. But I know a lot of intelligent people who have not done what you have done, who have not gone after a dream, created stuff. But you have. And so I'm tracing the elements because for me, like I said I read autobiographies and saw key things. Like in your case, I see that, okay, you came from a family who your parents were traders. So you saw, that whole, what's the word I'll see, the discipline of products, buying products, selling products, profit, all those kind of things. You saw it. So would you say that also helped? But then the question now is, what is that thing you feel everybody has and they can use to create something? What's that thing that the normal person, say in Nigeria, has? It doesn't have to be that, they are gone to this. But what is that thing they have? What do you think it is?
I think sometimes people are too scared to dream. You understand? And you're too scared of what people around you would even say if you dare to dream.
Powerful.
You understand? Because sometimes you know, you say to yourself, you know what, I want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And that minute you open your mouth to say, those around you are like, are you having a laugh? What makes you think you can do this? And that's it, it's dead on
True.
arrival.
True.
You have to be able to dream of something and say to yourself, I want to do this. For me, my attitude is, I don't like regrets.
You don't
That's
like
one.
regrets, yes.
And I only regret stuff when I didn't try. I mean, if I tried to do something and I look back and I feel like, you know what, you gave it your best and it didn't work, I can never regret it.
True.
Never.
True.
Because at the end of the day, you know, there are a lot of things I can't control.
Definitely.
So, but I know at least I tried.
You tried, yeah.
But my biggest regret is always, if you had tried.
If you had tried.
What if it worked out? And so if I have a dream of doing something, first of all, I don't let anybody talk me out of it, especially if I'm convinced about that dream.
So you have to be stubborn.
And it's not going to harm anybody. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you have a dream that might harm people. That's different.
That's a different thing.
I mean, the fact that I want to have 5 stores in 5 years doesn't harm anybody.
Doesn't harm anybody.
What is the worst thing that will happen? It won't happen, isn't it?
That's the worst thing that will happen, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
What
that you don't achieve it.
Yes,
that's it.
But at least I tried.
Yes.
Yes. So it's just a case of, okay, you dream it, then you put in the work.
Okay.
Because dreaming it is one. Number two is putting in the work. Because in the last 3-4 years, I have slept, I have ate, I have dreamt, and I've woken up to Tulip.
It's a full passion.
Yes. Every single minute of my life that I'm awake, I'm thinking, what is the next move I'm going to make? What is the next move? How do I further differentiate myself from my competitors?
Yeah.
How do I make myself indispensable?
So it's the value you're...
Yes. How do I make myself indispensable? That no matter what you do, you must still come to Tulip, whether you like it or not.
Okay.
All that, you have to sit down, think about it, and work towards it. Because the thing is, sometimes, I've spoken to people who, they clearly have a dream. And when you tell them put in the work, the first thing they're looking at are the negatives.
Thank you very much.
What if this doesn't happen? What if I even start and it doesn't work? For me, that's laziness.
Okay.
There are no what ifs in my book. I try. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work.
Because someone might say that, okay, maybe, Doctor, maybe you have the money and all.
No, it has nothing to do with it.
Because I've seen people who probably had the money and went into something, but they didn't have the work ethic, the discipline, the belief.
The truth is,
and that money...
It's not even about having the money.
Okay.
Because when we opened our very first Tulip, cosmetics is, how do I put it now? It's one of the most capital intensive businesses you can ever do. And that's why when you go into like cosmetic stores, you see most of them are scanty. Because the products are expensive, they are tiny. So before they fill up a store, you would know how much you have spent
into it.
When we started off the Lokogoma one, as a matter of fact, by the time we were done spending the money we had only gone halfway in filling up the shelves. So coincidentally, we had a lot of Dove body wash that time.
Okay.
So we just used it and
to fill up the other parts.
Filled up every other place.
Interesting.
So when you come to the store, most of the store was just Dove body wash everywhere because it was cheap and it was bulky, so it could fill up the space.
Okay.
But over time, as we were selling and making profits, we were replacing it and gradually getting rid of those products.
Okay.
So the truth is, you don't have to have it all when you're starting. Just start little and be ready to build upon it. Be ready to put in the work. And don't let negative thoughts like impede what you're supposed to do. You wake up in the morning and you say to yourself, oh, what if I start it and this doesn't happen? I mean, that time you're using to ask yourself, what if? Just start it.
Start it first.
Let it not work, but at least
you have started. And you learn from it, obviously.
And you learn from it.
Yeah.
You understand?
Okay.
So we need to try and avoid all that and just
push.
That's the thing.
So the first thing, obviously, is to have that dream.
Yeah.
nurture that dream. And I think as a human being, you really need to build discipline.
Yeah.
You really need to build the discipline to be able to, whatever it is you decide to do, the discipline to go after it every day.
Every day.
And that discipline will tend to keep on telling you what next to do. And so another thing I picked is you have to be very stubborn about your environment, to not let people around you to probably numb down your dream or make you feel stupid about what you believe.
Yes, I got a lot of it.
Okay.
First of all, you know, our training as doctors, we're trained to have, like, our mindset is just one straight. We never think outside the box. It's either you're in medicine or you're not in medicine.
True.
So doctors don't tend to think about other things.
Yeah.
And then they tend to judge each other by how successful you are
in that field.
In that field.
In the field.
So, and then to think that you wake up one day and drop your stethoscope and say you're going to sell cosmetics. Isn't that ridiculous?
It's really ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Yeah. But I see that.
So I found a lot of people telling me, are you sure you know what you're doing?
What's wrong with you?
You know. And then, you know, they kept, you know, talking to me like that, like talking down my dreams and telling me, you know, you're just being ridiculous here. So what I did, I decided to just stay away from all of them.
Shut them out.
I shut them, all of them, out of my life. So a good number of them don't even know I'm in Nigeria. Yeah. I shut all of them out. And then the ones that kept persisting and coming to tell me rubbish, I told them, listen, when I did medicine, I did it better than you. You didn't get the kind of result I got.
True.
So I didn't leave medicine because I was struggling.
Yes.
No.
I chose to.
I chose to.
Wow.
I did it well when I did it.
And then you left it.
Yes.
And you have moved on to
something else. And I've moved on now to something else. So
you are choosing your life.
Yes, I'm choosing what I want to do.
You're not.
Yes. I'm not being.
You're not letting situations like, you know.
Yes.
So very, very important. How has your husband played a role in this? You know, in terms of supporting and all that.
Well, he's broad-minded.
Okay.
You understand? He's lived abroad for a very long time, so he doesn't have that sort of mindset. And mind you, he's also a pharmacist.
True.
Who is not practicing either. He left his job as well.
True.
Yeah, as a practicing pharmacist.
Yeah.
To run his businesses.
Yeah.
As well. So we're sort of similar, if you understand what I mean.
So there's that synergy. There's that similarity.
So it's not how do I put it now? For him it's just normal, if you understand what I mean, because he's actually doing the same thing as well. So I've had all the support that I needed, and you know, we worked together as a team as well.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Powerful.
We worked together as a team. You know, we started off as students.
Yeah.
So
because this part I want to understand, because most times, you know, somebody would say, okay, I married this person and at the end of the day I'm not able to pursue my dreams and all. But from what I see is you're making that word team. Yes. That means that from even the school days, dating, what were the things that connected you guys to know that, okay, this thing would be something that would support the both of you in the future? What was it about the choice of a spouse?
Well, the thing is, first of all, we were friends.
First of all, you were friends?
Yes, we built friendship first before everything else.
Okay.
And when you're friends with someone, it makes things a whole lot easier.
Easier, true.
Because you can actually have conversations with that person and you can actually plan. So for me, friendship was...
First things first.
Yeah, first.
Okay.
And then the second thing was we both came from nothing. You know, we didn't inherit anything from anybody.
Yeah.
You know, all we got from our parents was education. We got nothing else.
True.
And we started life together from scratch with nothing. But we had a shared dream of wanting to have, you know, to raise kids that are comfortable, you know, that won't struggle as much as we did in our own time. And we knew we had to work together to be able to achieve
that.
Yeah, so, you know, we've always worked together from day one. He's a very good businessman, and so I tend to, he tends to, bring up a lot of ideas
Support,
and support, and I don't know.
And you find a way also to handle the home front, the children and all that. They get your time.
Yes.
How do you? Because some men would be worried that, okay, if I'm not around, my wife too is not. So how do you guys make time, balance it out?
Okay, so the thing is, you just have to. It's very hard. That's the truth.
That's the truth. Yeah.
It's very hard, but you just have to try and make things work. Like recently, all I do is I work with the kids' calendar. So say for instance, in the morning they go to school, I go to work and I try to finish up whatever I'm doing so that I can pick them up from school.
Okay.
The driver, which I don't have to, but I now make it,
as an avenue to have spend time to
spend them. Time. Yeah. So whatever I do, I try to round up the things that require my physical presence before that school run time.
Okay.
When I pick them up and I come home, I still have work to do.
Yeah.
So I try to divide my work into two. The ones I can do from home and the ones I can't do from home.
Okay.
So the ones I can't do from home, I try to do it when they're in school.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense.
And then the ones that involve paper and stuff that I don't need to be, I can literally sit in the office and do it. Then I do it at home.
Okay.
So if they're running around in the living room and I'm doing my work sitting there, at least I'm seeing what they're doing. I can talk to them and I can still do my work. That's what I've, decided to do recently. So basically just walk around them.
Yeah.
Making sure that even as I'm working, they are there. Yeah. I can see them. Yeah. And I can talk to them. Yes. And be part of their day.
How about their dad? Is they get to also have the experience of having him around and all?
Yes, he's very handsome as well.
Okay.
Yeah, he's very handsome with the kids. Yeah.
So you said something about there are situations where you probably are not there. So that means you obviously have a team.
Yes.
And I mean, because to be able to build what you have built, you obviously need to have a team. Yeah. What would you say is something you can share when it comes to building a team?
You have to establish a structure.
Okay.
And that structure, you have to trust those you have with you.
I like this.
Because the thing is, our people, they tend to, they say to you, why are you opening all these stores? People are going to steal from you.
True.
Blah, blah, blah.
True.
Listen, even if you have one store and you sit down there from morning till night, they're still going to steal from you whilst you're there. Looking at them, they still steal.
True.
Number one is have that structure in place. Okay. 2, trust your team. Knowing that
you recruited the right because how did you even go about, like, what was the thing? What made you choose the people you choose?
I won't say to you that I'm perfect. Sometimes I get it wrong.
Wrong, okay.
You understand what I mean? But most times I've been lucky to get people who are devoted to the business.
Okay.
And then again, the way you treat your staff.
Okay.
The way you treat them.
Yeah.
And make them feel like they're part of the business.
Yeah. They're part of the vision. They're part of that
ownership.
Thing. Yes. Yes.
So they have a shared dream.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we regularly have meetings where I speak to them and say, this is our dream. It's not my dream. Yeah. It's our dream.
Yeah.
And if we're going to achieve it, we have to do this, do that, do that. And if we have challenges, I also discuss with them the ongoing challenges and what is going on. So they are aware of everything.
Okay.
So sometimes when maybe a customer comes and is saying, can I get a discount? And I'm even attempting to my staff will be like, we're not.
Madam, we're not giving
not with everything going
on right now.
Because they are aware of, this every single challenge we're facing, they're aware. I carry them along.
Okay.
So they know.
And you also compensate them in that.
Yes. So they know.
Okay.
So it's not a case of, you're the boss.
Okay.
And people underneath you
are your...
no. They are part of everything.
They are like your colleagues in this mission.
So we sit down and we discuss, what do we do? How do we go about this? This is the challenge we're having.
And you listen to them.
Yes. And then you treat them right as well. You make them feel like, okay, they're part of a family.
Okay.
So if it's their birthday, you have to remember it's their birthday.
Yeah.
you treat them well, you look after them, they would also look
after
your
thing.
business.
Yeah.
And then again, the new thing we introduced is sometimes our own staff, they have their own businesses they run by the side.
Wow.
So for instance, I have a staff who makes lip balms and lip scrubs.
Wow.
And I said to her, if you make lip balms and lip scrub, I will not buy lip scrub from anybody.
I'll buy from you.
I'll buy from you.
Yeah.
Because this is our business.
Yes. This is quite interesting.
Yes, if Tulip is growing, that's your business has to grow as well.
Wow.
So we're her biggest customer. Because if you bring lip scrub to my store to supply to Tulip, I will not buy because I have somebody. Yes, I have her.
This is quite
so I'd rather grow her than grow somebody else. I don't know. So if you have a staff who produces lip scrubs and most of her sales are in Tulip, what do you think? Do you think she would mess about with that business?
No.
Because that same business provides her salary and for her business as well.
Too. Wow.
So sometimes, you have to look into all these things, make sure that they also have stakes in it.
Yeah.
And they carry it on their head.
And trust them.
Yeah, and trust them.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, what you're looking at is, even if they steal, and the net of everything is profit, at the end of it is profit. At
the end of the day, everybody's happy.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think at the end of the day, even the culture, the organization would even weed off
those
that are bad eggs.
Yes. So as you have a structure in place and all that, they will, even those who want to steal, be finding more and more difficult to do that.
Because within themselves, they will be watching each other.
Yes. They'll find it difficult to do that. So for those who would have a store, I'm like, oh, I'm scared of opening another store because I don't want them to steal from me or in Nigeria. Listen, the Tulip in Kuje, I haven't been there since. The last time I went was, I think it's in March or April.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't been there since that time.
Wow. And it's running, you're getting reports and everything?
I haven't been there. We have the supermarket in Kuje at the pharmacy. I haven't been there either. They are running.
Wow. This is quite...
We have stores in Lagos. I've been there once this year. My husband has been once or twice.
We're in Lagos?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they are running.
So it's not just in Abuja, it's...
No. We have 2 stores in Lagos.
In Lagos?
Yeah.
So are there plans to expand beyond, Abuja, to scale up in Lagos too?
Yeah.
And also...
At some point, yeah.
Now, we're in an era of jack buying. I mean, this is 2023, and whenever I'm passing the front of Institute of Organization of Migration, where people go for the droves of people I see going there. But your case is unique. You literally were successful. You and your husband were fine in the UK and decided to come back. Are you planning at some point to jack back, or you are home and who knows, are there plans to scale business even beyond Nigeria?
Well, the thing is, the way the world is now, it's with globalization, we're all global citizens at the end of the day.
True.
My husband and I have dual citizenship, English and Nigerian. So, this is our base.
This is your base for now.
This is our base. But
and you're enjoying it?
Yes, and it doesn't stop us from doing whatever we want to do elsewhere.
True.
You can have the best of both worlds.
Both worlds. I like that.
My son is in boarding school in the UK now, so
awesome.
So
the world is a global platform right now. Yeah.
But the truth is, for people who have like decent jobs here, and who are considering going abroad, you have to do your research properly.
Okay, because you've been there, so I'd like to hear this. You have to
do your research properly, because sometimes you might actually be jumping from frying pan to fire. So you have to make sure that you do your...
Okay.
You have to make sure you do your research properly. So that's all I can say.
That's all you can say. You don't say more than that, because I've heard people who probably left because the word is a decent job and moved and it was hell. It's it's a big struggle.
You know why I how do I put it now? I don't really like to advise people of traveling abroad because one, I have a second passport.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes, yes.
And I think they would think is a biased advice.
Exactly. True.
You understand? Because
True.
I have options.
Yes, you have options.
So, and then I say to you, don't
go. It's like
you understand?
Did they send you from the village?
You understand what I mean?
I get that.
Yeah, but
I get that.
but just do your research.
Do your research.
Yes.
That's what you can say about that. Okay, that's interesting. So but in I'm interested in also the fact that, you know, marriage is also a platform that has supported what you guys are doing, because I find that most times people think it is either or.
Yeah.
You know, you see somebody who say, oh, I need to pursue my dream. Marriage would detract or will hinder. And I even see people who go as far as even probably in marriage and they get divorced because they feel that the marriage is not supporting their dream. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I think it all boils down to choosing the right partner at the end of the day.
Okay.
Because if you choose the wrong person,
hell can break loose.
Yeah. So you need to, our young people need to focus on developing friendship first. Because with the influence of social media and
now,
everything, you meet a man and the first thing is sex and all that. And at that point, your sense of reasoning is already
out.
Yeah. So you need to focus on friendship.
Yeah.
Making sure you can actually have a conversation with that person, because
you share values and
you see a lot of married people who are like two
different people.
And you wonder, how did these people even come together in the first place?
Yeah.
Like this person is thinking east and the other person is thinking west. So there's no meeting point between the two of them. The truth is nothing can work.
Nothing can work through.
It boils down to making sure that you get a partner that you can actually have a conversation with.
Yeah.
That you can actually plan something out with.
That people see life see life similarly.
Yeah, it makes life a whole lot easier.
So yeah, when it comes to marriage, as you've been saying, you know, you talked about the fact that there has to be friendship, you know, and people cannot be too, because the funny thing is that if they cannot even agree, even in little things in the home and all, there's no way they would agree in even stuff. Trying to.
No.
Okay. Let me ask, would you say, because it's still the same mindset and there are people who probably are single and they feel that marriage will detract. Would you say marriage actually has supported your dreams in terms of
course.
It has given you wings to really fly?
Of course.
Really?
Of course. I have the most supportive partner anyone can ask for.
Wow.
And we're actually best of friends.
Awesome.
First of all. Before
anything.
Before being husband and wife. Yeah, so we discuss everything.
Wow.
And we support each other as much as we can. And we work together. Yeah. So in all our businesses, we work together. We don't run any of the stuff solo. We work together and, do everything together. And, that helps because when you work together and also incorporate family, we have a lot of family as well in our business structure.
So, but doesn't that, I know I always hear that family affects business, keep family away. How have people been able to deal with that?
Yes, what you said is right, but you also have, you have to pick correctly. It's not everyone in your family that you bring into your business.
It's not everyone.
You understand? You have to pick correctly those that you would invite in, because the advantage is that trust and the commitment is there from family members that you might not get from outsiders. You understand what I mean? But it's not you have to assess the person just like you'd assess any other staff. You have to assess the person and make sure that you actually can work with this person, and this person actually shares your dream as well.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get to you don't. There's no preferential treatment when it comes to.
No, not really. To be honest, it has to do more with your competence.
Competence and commitment to do the work.
Yeah. And if the person has all that and his family, it makes it even better.
Even better.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And so far so good.
Yeah.
So far so good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So is there any other thing? What else would you like to share in terms of, somebody out there who is trying to go after their dreams? Is there any other thing you want?
I mean, if you're convinced about this dream, go for it.
Go for it.
Give it everything.
Okay.
Let your regrets be that, well, you shouldn't have any regrets, to be honest.
Okay.
Let it be that you went for it and it didn't work. It's a better kind of story than you didn't even try.
So would you say that a key thing is really about the discipline and determination?
Yes, you have to. To be honest, you cannot be successful if you don't have discipline. And if you don't wake up every day and show up for what you're doing.
Exactly.
It's not all rosy. Some days I wake up and I say to myself, what am I doing in this country?
What the hell are you doing?
I mean, why did I even leave my profession as a doctor? I ask myself that question some days.
Okay, so that happens?
Yes, I'm human.
Yeah.
But even on those days, I still show up.
Yeah.
I still say to myself, well, you're doing this now, and it's got to be worth your time. And I wake up and show up even those days.
And you give it
that
everything.
I don't feel like it, So you have to show up, no matter what happens, and give it the best you can. Because at the end of the day, your only regret will be that you didn't give it the best. So to avoid that, give it the best.
Give it the best.
Yes, and always try to reinvent yourself. Don't sit down and be comfortable that, okay, I'm doing well, and for that reason,
that's it.
You have to constantly be thinking, how else can I be better at what I do?
Okay.
How else can I satisfy my customers even better?
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a constant job of constantly reinventing yourself. Constantly, putting in the work, and constantly keeping your team motivated.
Yeah, so this is important, keeping your team motivated.
Yes. So they will be motivated if they are part of the process.
They're part of the process.
Yes, it's not, they don't feel talked down. They are part of the process.
Okay.
You want to make a decision and you're saying to them, this is what's happening. This is what we're planning to do. And we're here to hear your thoughts. What do you think?
What do you think?
How are we going to go about this? They are part of the entire process. So that if you're telling them we need to start work at 7 o'clock today, it's not
they know why.
They know why. As a matter of fact, they're telling you 7 is late.
Yes. Let's start earlier.
Let's start 6 o'clock, because with the things we have to do, we have to start. So it makes things easier for you. There's
buy-in now.
Yes. Yeah. So we have to, you say 7, they say no, 6 o'clock. But if I had come to them and say, tomorrow you're coming to work at 7, they'll be grumbling. If they don't know why I came to that decision.
True.
You understand? They'll be grumbling. But if you carry them along, they even say to you, no, we cannot finish if we start at 7.
They take over
they take it over,
yeah.
And it becomes their thing.
Yeah.
And as much as possible, support them. Once they feel supported and they feel part of the venture, then it becomes their own venture.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, if I walk into any of my stores and say, for instance, I need to buy something and I don't have my wallet or something, those girls won't sell it to me.
Really?
They won't.
So you made that as a like a culture thing.
Because I'm not that sort of boss that's
privilege.
Yes. If the rules apply to me, they also apply to
everybody. So you lead by example.
Yes, and my customers will tell you when they come to the store, they see me walking, I put goods in the shelf.
Because I see you do that.
Yes.
I see you do
that.
So
I do all those things. So I cannot tell you to do what I'm not doing.
Okay.
So if I go in and I say to them, listen, I need to get this thing, they're like, ma, we cannot really sell it to you unless you're, some days, the day they'll cut me the slack, they'll be like, once you get home, transfer it. And I promise you, they're on my phone until I send them the money.
So I think you have also built a disciplined culture.
Yes.
And it starts from you.
Yes, it starts from me. So there are many times, I go to work, I'm so busy, like I need something. I don't remember to buy it. Then I'll go home, come back again, and maybe I will then not have my wallet, or for some reason I can't even buy it then. They won't sell it to me. I have to. Sometimes I end up using my daughter's cream because
this is quite interesting.
Yeah.
The level of discipline, the
Yes.
level of humility
Yes.
which is required.
Yeah, they won't sell it to me until I'm ready to come and pay them. If not, they won't give it to me.
So would you say that this is actually something very important for business?
It is.
Because if not,
it is. Because if you are not disciplined, then you're not going anywhere.
You're not going anywhere.
As a matter of fact, I earn salary. Okay. So I have a, every month I get paid. And I promise you, if my money gets finished, it's finished.
It's finished. You wait for the next.
It's finished.
Everything else is the business.
Yes. So if there are times where I've spent all my salary, I need something from Tulip, and they won't sell to me because I don't have money to pay for it. I have to wait until I'm ready to pay for it. So there's nothing like you're the boss, you can come in and pick something. No, it doesn't work that way. Wow. So that discipline has to be there because you lead by example.
Would you say did you learn this from your parents? Did you learn it from the UK? Because I mean, this is strange for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's a lot of discipline, and so where did this come from?
I've had a lot of influences. Okay. My husband, one, my parents, two, reading books, and also watching other successful people.
You read books?
3.
I like reading books.
I wouldn't say I'm the best reader.
But you read books?
Sometimes I do, but books that are, I'm not, how do I put it now? I'm not that sort of person who would read any book that I see.
Well, any book that is going to help you.
You do, yeah. You understand what I mean, yeah. So, do you call that a book lover? I wouldn't really say I'm not.
I wouldn't say people should be book. I'm not I don't push the idea of loving books as much as loving knowledge that is required to help you grow.
So I read things that would help me grow, if you understand what I mean.
Awesome.
Yeah. So and I have also seen that people who are successful, there's a clear-cut line between business and play.
Personal life, okay.
You understand? So I try not to cross that line. So if I have a set amount of money that is allocated to me as my salary for the month, then I try to survive.
Discipline yourself on that.
Survive on it. So
on your needs.
Yeah. And the fact that I own these stores doesn't mean that I can now afford anything, if you understand what I mean.
I get what you're saying.
Based on my pay, there are things in my store that I can't afford.
Wow. This is a lot of discipline.
I cannot afford it.
Yes.
Because if I buy those items,
it
means my salary will finish the next day. How do I survive for the rest of the month? So there are a lot of things that I cannot afford. So I buy what I can afford from them. And the day I don't have the money to buy it, my staff won't give me that product. They're like, we need our money. We need to account account for the day's sales to the accounting department. And we're not going to go and tell them that
Madam took the... Because once you start flaunting, the whole system will crumble.
Yeah, that's it. So they have superior power than I do. They won't go and tell accounting department that I took something. So I have to pay. And I have to live according to my means.
Wow. This is some level of discipline on another level, and I think it is something that people out there, as an individual, I think it's something that we have to really, really inculcate, because everything really runs on discipline. And if you don't have that discipline, I mean, you struggle in all aspects, both your personal life, both your business and everything. So I appreciate seeing reality, probably reading in books and all, but seeing it here is quite unique, and I think it's quite telling for people to inculcate that. What else would you say is something you want to probably share to that person who is actually thinking of going out on the limb in this Nigerian economy presently?
I'd say the Nigerian market is a virgin market. So you need to just look at where the needs are and
The
try.
needs.
Yeah.
The needs.
Look at where the needs are. There would always be something that is missing in the market that you can fill.
Okay.
Look at it. Because if you look critically, whatever you want to do and you look around you and see those doing it, there's something missing. That there's a missing gap that you can fill.
Gap. And Nigeria is that virgin.
Yes, it's a virgin market where there's, you look
wherever you look, there's a gap everywhere.
There's a gap everywhere. You just need to pick that gap
and fill it. And be disciplined about filling it.
Yes, that's what I would say.
Awesome. Dr. Oju, it's been an honor, a pleasure, enlightening session, having this interview, this conversation, obviously, and I've learned quite a lot from it, and I hope that our viewers have actually learned quite a lot from what you have said, especially coming from even, it's quite important that the aspect of marriage also comes in, because it's something I'm very, very concerned and passionate about, and people struggle in that aspect. Okay, let me pursue my dreams because my husband, when I marry, but you being able to marry the two, and to even see that your marriage has actually been a platform that has given you even wings to fly and pursue your passion. Because I remember vividly that even prior to medicine, cosmetics was a passion for you.
Yeah.
And at some point in your journey, it came to bear that it's something you actually fulfilled, and marriage actually helped that. So marriage did not take your dream away from you. Instead, it actually even helped to fulfill your dream. Yeah. So I want to say thank you for coming on the Lessons with Leaders podcast, and look to have more conversations with you. And so for our viewers, Tulip is a beauty retail brand focused on cosmetics, and the major thing about it is that these are affordable, and so you can go and probably have your experience in Tulip, and then I'd probably like to hear your feedback about Tulip. Until our next episode on Lessons with Leaders, please take care of yourself, but don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Also, thanks to our sponsors, Cleveland Homes, where you dream it and they build it.